Hello fellow tankers, this is Dauntless, and today I'm going to be playing another game on Arctic region in my Tier 9 Chinese medium tank, the WZ-120. This vehicle I've done a few replays on now, and if you care to check those out, you'll be able to hear about what I feel about this vehicle. But other than that, I'm going to just jump into some pregame analysis right now. When I first loaded into this map, I realized that they definitely had a superior team for this map. They have a lot of strong green players at top tier, and while we do have some good players right here, our heavy tanks are not as great, and they definitely have more heavy tanks. And if you know anything about this map, the south is usually dominated by heavy tanks and a few tank destroyers, especially tanks like the T-110E4 that has a turret that is able to trade effectively down here. Sometimes the map outcome is dictated by medium tanks that push in this north, and occasionally up the middle here, but as you know, sometimes it can be hard to push into this area if you're a medium tank, or alternatively go back and try to fight this base when you have tank destroyers sitting here that might push around and take you. And really, if you're able to win this flank in the south, you can usually win the game. And I know that with their heavy tank lineup and this good grill that could be potentially sitting here and sniping down as our tanks retreat, we could be potentially screwed playing this round with our lack of heavy tanks. The second our heavy tank line falls, it's going to be up to our tank destroyers to hold them off. But even then, they do have superior numbers in heavily armored vehicles, and I realize that the north is going to be the way to win this game. And so I'm going to just get started here. And here I tell you the north is the way to win this game. And I go ahead and push south. And this is because I figure that the Batchat and the 140 and possibly the T62A would push the north and kind of figure out what's going on up there. And because the north can take a little bit to kind of fold out, I wanted to get down here and put some nice juicy 440 shots with my tier 10 gun into the side of some heavy tanks that might potentially push across here like you see quite often. This is a great spot if you have no gun depression. You can use your gun depression, or you can use your lack of gun depression by backing up like this and being able to shoot, and then when you get lit, pull forward instead of driving up to here and trying to pop all the way over to get the shot, because you can drive forward faster than you can backwards. So I try to get a shot in here, but I'm looking at the map and I'm thinking, are you guys serious? This again? After that last game I had, I was really like, am I going to have to do this exact same thing? Kind of made a mistake here and ran into Artie. He continues to drive into me and I wasn't able to get out of his way. But I realized that our entire team is going south. And they're going to put themselves into harm's way because of all their heavy tanks they have down there. And even our tank destroyers are pushing, which is not... I mean, we'll be able to hold the south longer because of that, but ultimately I feel like we aren't going to win that fight. I see the Batchat is lit in the north, and our Batchat actually realizes this void too, and we both push up into this area. Well, he pushes up further and sees what he can spot, and I go up to my trusty bush and see if I can actually light anything. I know the Conqueror and the T10 and possibly the Grill were last spotted pushing in the north, and I realize that if I'm able to sit in this bush, I might potentially be able to spot them. So we just lost our Conway, we lost our T10, there goes our T110E5, or I'm sorry, our Type 5 Heavy, our T57 Heavy just died, and our team is not looking so hot. We've already lost 5 vehicles and they've only lost 1 light tank. So I'm getting really antsy here. I really want to go down and sit where that T95 is, or possibly the T62A, and get some shots on those heavies and really help our team. I want to slow down this advance of tanks that's pushing down in the south, but at the same time I know it could be a matter of seconds where the Conqueror and the T10 could be pushing around this corner, and the second that happens, again, my platoon mate Brennen and this Batchat could suddenly be surprised from behind, and we could be completely surrounded. And the second our guns here stop shooting at what's down here, these guys are just gonna come straight into our base and the game will be over. So even though I've done 0 damage so far and I haven't been able to even spot anything, me being here is very crucial. So the bat check gets lit. I go for a track shot, hit a little bit to the right, I believe, and unable to track him, but still a nice roll, 466, which is above average for this gun. And I remember sitting here communicating with Brennan, and I'm going over TeamSpeak, and I'm saying, hey Brennan, what's the situation look like down there? Are you doing okay? And he's telling me that they are actually being very defensive, and they're playing very smart. They're actually in this little depression right here, and they're using their turret armor to kind of be hauled down and resist his shots. So I made kind of a bad shot into that Conqueror, and so I'm going to pause the game right here. You saw just now that I pulled up, and there is this little bump right here, and I wasn't able to depress my gun enough to get a shot onto this bat chat. And so this is something that you can do if you can't get a shot. You'll notice that the ridge actually goes downward here, and what I do here to compensate for that lack of gun depression is to actually just drive a little bit to the left or to the right, and I'm able to get a shot. Kind of a lucky shot into that track there. I'm going to try to go for a second here, and I'm constantly moving back and forth because I really don't want to get hit by artillery. So he realizes what's going to happen, and he fixes his track, and he gets out of the way. So now here comes the Conqueror, the T-49, the T-10, and they're all pushing this flank. And I've been lit here, so they know they're going to have a little bit of resistance coming in. And again, I was able to drive up the ridge right here on the left side and able to depress my gun downwards to hit that bat chat. The south is still kind of clustered up. They're not pushing very effectively. That was kind of a bad shot. Again, this gun is not the most accurate, and with the long aim time and the fact that I'm constantly twitching my tank around trying to avoid being hit by arty, it is hard to make those snapshots. Whereas the T-54 would do a much better job at making those quick shots. But again, if you're exposing yourself to take the shot, hitting a tank for 477 like my last shot did feels a lot better than hitting them for 320. So the Conqueror is pushing here, and I'm able to get some assist damage here, I believe, unless it's the AMX that's lighting them. And I'm having a hard time depressing my gun here, but I realize they're not really paying attention to me, and I haven't been lit yet, so I wait until I know I'm probably going to be lit, and I pull forward and put a shot in. I aimed a little bit low, hoping to maybe track him in place, but I wasn't able to do so. And now the Conqueror, see what he just did there, along with his T-10? He realized he got hit and says, crap, I can't push any further, so he goes down, and I'm successfully able to hold him off from advancing any further. Not able to get the gun depression I need right there, so I pulled just a little bit forward. I know I'm probably not lit right now, and I'm hiding in the bush, waiting for that guy to pop so I can get a shot in. He's not the best player, and he gives me his side. Nice high roll of 470 into his side. Unable to track him, but I'll take the damage. So now the Batchat and the WZ-120 on the opposing team is pushing into our base, and our numbers are dwindling. They have 9 vehicles to our 6. And T-49 pushes up, nice juicy roll into him again. Compared to last game, I'm getting really high rolls, whereas last game I was hitting in the 300s. So me being here again is very crucial to our team surviving. Our guys are so busy dealing with what's in front of them that if I wasn't able to hold these tanks back, we would have lost just way earlier than we did now. I mean, we're surviving 8 minutes in, and that's mostly because I'm here. I wasn't able to aid my team in the very beginning, but knowing that I could hold this position and prevent our guys from being taken advantage of from behind, I was able to help our team indirectly. And I was able to get about 3,000 damage in so far. And from this position, that WZ that's pushing up in our base, I am able to get shots onto him. If he pushes any further than where he is now, I will be able to hit him. And he's being a little sneaky. I don't know if he knows that I'm here. But again, I really don't want to sit still very long because I know Artie is going to try to hit me. He pushes up a little bit. I figure I try to go for his commander's hatch, but with the accuracy of this gun, I don't think there's a very good chance of hitting him. It's always worth the chance because you could potentially kill him in that situation, and he is their strongest player that's alive at the moment, so I really want to take him out and prioritize him. And I'm communicating with Brendan here. I'm asking him, what can I do? What can I do to help? He keeps telling me, you're doing fine, bro. Just stay right there where you are. Hold those guys back, and we'll do what we can. So that T-10 is trying to get a shot on me, and I know he's probably not going to be able to hit me because of the fact that he's not a very good player. I use the ridgeline right here, again, to depress my gun. I'm elevating the left side of my tank and getting a shot over here, so I'm able to get a shot into this T10. He sees me expose myself and he pushes forward, and I'm able to put a nice shot into him. Rolled a little low there, but again, I'm glad I'm able to even hit him at this point. This T49 is being aggressive, and I want to take him out if I can. Unfortunately, our 140 got killed, and he was the only thing really protecting our artillery at that point. So now our artillery is vulnerable. Now, I'm probably sitting still a little bit too long here. I know I'm not really lit, and so I know I can afford to sit still, but the second I do get lit, I take a snapshot and I move. I don't want to sit still long enough for artillery to try to be able to hit me. This WZ is a little bit overextended, and he dies. And he had to push that far forward to depress his gun, and again, he never looked towards me once, and so I don't know if he realized I was there or that I was able to get a shot into him, but I was able to take the opponent out. T49 kind of jumped into a hole there. I'm not really sure what he was thinking, but at that point I'm like, okay, one less thing to worry about. And I pull up, and then the Leopard spots me. And I'm getting kind of nervous here. I'm thinking, okay, where the heck is Artie? And I talked to Brennen over TeamSpeak, and I'm like, hey, has Artie shot in your direction at all? And he's like, no, actually, I don't think he has. And I realized I've been sitting here being spotted many times, and I also haven't been shot at by Artie. So I'm starting to think here, like, oh, is Artie, has he gone AFK? I know he has a kill, but he really hasn't tried to shoot me, and I'm the easiest target. Our Artie here goes up against their T110E4, and I think he's about to bite the bullet here. Again, using the elevation of the hill to get gun depression on this tank. He pulls forward, nice shot. If you run vertical stabilizers on this tank, you can actually pull off some pretty good shots like that, some just nice snaps. Unable to get the gun depression here, and I shouldn't have pulled back that far before I was reloaded, but I really wanted to kill that T49. And this is where I think I messed up. I started thinking, you know what, Artie hasn't shot at me once, and I've been just moving around. I need to sit still and aim long enough because this Leopard could push up and I'll be able to kill him. And boom. Lose over half my health to an artillery. I think he did like 1,000 damage to me right there. Fortunately, our Batchat was able to take out that T49, but now I'm sitting at 485 health because I got hit directly by Artie. This means that if the T10 rolls high, I could die, and also if the artillery manages to splash me, I will die. We're down to our 3 players, and we do have 3 very good players left, but we're all low on health, and they do have a lot of tanks remaining. So I really want to get a shot onto this T10, but I know the longer I stay here, the more vulnerable I'm going to be making myself to artillery if I get lit. And the Batchat pulls forward. I go for a shot. I don't think I had enough lead on him there, but it was just kind of a gamble. Leopard PTA pushes forward. He's a bright red player. He has no idea what's going on, and I put one up his ass. So I do take a little bit of a gamble here. I'm pushing forward, hoping that the T10 doesn't spot me for artillery or potentially put a high roll into my side and kill me. E4 makes an aggressive push, and our Batchat is able to take him out. Now our Batchat and I are both down to low digits to where we could potentially die. And I make a really lucky / good shot here where shoot that guy on the move, and I'm able to take him out. Now, taking out that Batchat was very important because in a situation like this, it's very important that you eliminate as many vehicles as possible so you prevent yourself from getting surrounded. I don't know where this E100 is, but I know I have to take this T10 out before the E100 is able to push. I bounce a shot from him, and unfortunately I hit his upper plate. Bad shot for me, but I just didn't have the gun depression, and I bounced his upper plate. The Batchat realizes that he should help me, and he pushes forward to try to get a shot. The T10 donks a shot here, and I'm able to pull forward far enough and get a shot to his lower plate. Now the E100 gets lit, and I'm like, crap, what am I going to do? And then I realize he's not paying any attention to me. I try to take advantage of the fact that I'm up against this hill here, and I tried to angle my gun downward. If you can see, I'm trying to pull up ahead enough so I can shoot down onto his side of his turret. Unfortunately, my tank slides and kind of gets stuck right here onto this turret of this exploded tank, and our Batchat gets killed. This is a situation where it's crucial. If I can't kill this guy in one shot, I'm not going to be able to win this game because his reload could potentially outweigh mine. I have a heat round loaded because I was hoping to hit the side of his turret, and in this situation, the E100, I don't know if he knows that I have heat loaded, but my opportunities to kill this tank are actually quite low. I hit anywhere on the side of his vehicle, and the heat is going to do no damage. I hit him here. He's angled enough to where the heat could potentially ricochet. And with 340 pen, if he's able to turn his turret slightly more to the right or the left, I'm going to fail to pen his turret. And if I hit anywhere high, hit anywhere on his gun shield, my shot isn't going to go in. And the really only place I can hit him and pen him with my heat round is right on the cheek here and potentially right in this area. And again, this gun's handling is not the greatest, and the accuracy isn't the greatest, the aim time isn't the greatest, and so taking a shot like this is a little bit of a gamble, but again, I'm open to artillery right here, and I got to make this shot count. Able to put a nice shot into his side, or into the front of his turret, and took him out of the game. Now it's just me down to me and artillery, and it's just a little game of cat and mouse here. He could kill me easily with one shot, and I don't think I can roll high enough with my standard shells. I could load HE right here, which I didn't do. To be honest, that situation gave me such an adrenaline rush that my heart was beating and my hands were shaking a little bit, and I was like, I really need to win this. Our guys fought so well, and it's up to me now to kill this guy, and I can't afford to even get splashed by Artie. So I decide to push this direction. I was initially going to push here, and I think if I was Artie, I would be hiding either here or here. If I'm in this location, there's a bush right here where you can actually spot things driving up this path, and potentially, again, he could splash me if I get lit here, and I have no cover. If I push right up into here, and if I get lit, I really just have to pray that I'm not going to get hit. But alternatively, if I drive around this side, he's going to have a harder time spotting me because there is a ridge here. And if he is in this depression right here, he's not going to be able to push me or spot me until I get over this way, see if I can flush him out, and then drive down here. So I'm driving into the base here, really nervous here, and again, I think my hands were shaking a little bit because I'm like, I need to make this shot count, and I need to get 2 shots into him, and he just has to hit me once, and I know he's reloaded. I spot him. I really don't want to sit still very long, and my shot just goes completely to the left, and I miss him. And I'm like, great, he's going to hit me. I try to get into this little depression to prevent him from shooting me, and I peek out here, and I auto-aim, and don't have the depression to hit him, but fortunately he misses me, and now he's charging me. I realize that, okay, he's probably going to try to ram me, and I don't know how heavy that vehicle is compared to mine, so I really don't want to get hit. So I back up, and now it's just a matter of waiting for my reload. So pretty epic game if you ask me. I was able to get my top gun, 5,000 damage, and also some additional spot damage. And again, we were kind of in an unfair, the enemy team had an unfair advantage in terms of having a lot more heavy vehicles and better players in general opposed to us. And again, if we had played smart in the north with me and the 3 tier 10 medium tanks pushing north, there is a chance we could have won that side. It might have been a little bit difficult if the grill and some of the tank destroyers went back, but if you ask me, that would have been the best way to win this game and not leave it up to fate like this. But again, I was able to have an awesome game because we didn't. And what ended up happening was our team all pushed down to this area here and ended up just getting eliminated by their sheer force. And I ended up having to go back and sit here and just wait. Our team was dying one by one, and I was just sitting here waiting for their guys to push. And I knew it was a matter of time because our entire team got lit at once. And it was only a matter of time before the Conqueror decided, okay, there's a vulnerability here, let me push. And when that happened, I knew the other players would follow his lead, and sure enough, they came trotting into our base. Me being here, I was able to thwart them down into this area, and only a few tanks were able to push, and I was able to put a lot of shots into them and hold them back and stay alive long enough to help win the last engagement that we had. So anyway, guys, that was all for this replay. If you like this video and want to see more video like this in the future, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. It would really help me out. And thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the battlefield.